Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is week 10 of the SBL Draft League. I am accompanied this week by Adrian, or better known as Ulico. Sorry for the break week in there. A lot of our competitors were at Milwaukee. We had a lot of really good performances, Ulico being one of them, as well as Cyber. So yeah, let us get into this match with Jdawg versus Praspian.
Adrian, this is an exciting one. Absolutely, this is an exciting one. This will actually determine whether Jdawg has a playoff chance or not. And looking at his team here, he has a few big attackers here. He has the Kirim with the Never Melt Ice with the double ice moves. That I think that'll be doing a lot of big damage. We also see the Lando with Lander Therian with Terra Fire, defensive against maybe ice moves and stuff, but he'll have to watch out for any water type attacks coming his way because he won't get rid of that weakness. We also see the Assault Vest Azumarill, which I think will be looking very good this week, especially once we get to see Praspian's team. And more support guys, we see the Grafaya with Rain Dance, supporting that Azumarill maybe. We also see Scary Face for speed control. That Magmortar always providing that follow me support, which is so useful, especially against very offensive teams. And the Cobalion kind of providing, I would say also being an attacker with body press and heavy slam that can hit really hard, and the Vacuum Wave, which I think we could see priority between the Vacuum Wave and the Aqua Jet being very important in this matchup.
Yeah, I think it's a very solid team by Joe here. So for Praspian's team, Praspian's team's looking very good right now. Kind of a little side note here is that he did drop a lot of his Mons. I think about week 3, he did originally draft a Sun team. And it's kind of interesting because last season, season 8, Praspian beat Joe, and Joe was using this Sun team. Praspian then proceeds to draft the Sun team and then eventually drops it, which is kind of a little interesting feud between these Sun teams, which is quite funny. So looking at Praspian's team here, let me 1 second.
I will say I think the last time these two played, Praspian I believe got the upset on Jdawg, right?
Yes, he did. He went 2-0 against them.
That's Jdawg is definitely known for being one of the tougher opponents in the league. So just to preface that this match could definitely go either way. We have absolutely no idea where this might end up going.
Exactly. So Praspian's team here, we're seeing, the kind of a basic, or not basic, but for Praspian, of course, Chi-Yu Fluttermane, a very, very iconic duo here, very, very fast. That Chi-Yu having Choice Scarf, making it even faster, and then Fluttermane having that booster energy, being able to boost its speed 1.5. Pretty normal Chi-Yu set, Heat Wave, Dark Pulse, Overheat. Snarl is going to be a pretty interesting one, maybe lowering that special attack of that Kira, maybe that Cobalion, maybe those would be really important here if it wants to lock into that Snarl. Persian Alola, fake out Icy Wind, more speed control for Praspian. Staraptor also having Tailwind, there's a lot of speed control for Praspian's side here. That Superior has kind of been the MVP of Praspian's team, it feels like, with that contrary ability, those Leaf Storms, doing the +2 each time, and then also Stellar Terra Blast, +1 to each. Stat is good, or of course attacking stat is going to be super good.
Yeah. I think this will be really strong. I think we're already getting to the match here. It looks like we're already going. So
wow.
We're having some stream difficulties, but if anyone wants to see the team sheet specifically, they are sent in the chat, so those are welcome for anyone to view. We do see here the Magmortar and the Azumarill on one side versus the Persian Alola and the Dondozo.
Interesting switching from that Dondozo threatening big damage to that Magmortar, probably not wanting to take that water damage here.
Yeah, the Dondozo here is running a water move, of course. It's also running a dragon move. It can't hit that Kirim super effectively with the Order of Flavor from the Emerald just takes out that Persian Alola, even through the Fur Coat ability, which would normally boost its defense.
Wow, that was not even a crit there either. That was a big damage.
I mean, Azumarill is just I mean, it's easy to forget how strong Azumarill can be with that huge power ability, right?
That is true. Interesting to see as well that, Azumarill going before that Dondozo. I mean, both are pretty slow Pokemon, so, looking to see that speed order there is very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Azumarill is very slow. Dondozo is really slow, though. I think like 30 speed, something like that. We do have the super effective, never melt ice boosted Freeze Dry, which is really threatening the Dondozo here. So we'll have to see what move Praspian might make to try to avoid that.
Yeah, the speed. I mean, Praspian now does have some speed control on on his side with the Flutter Mane here, but I don't think with Dondozo as your partner, it's really going to matter at all. You're probably just going to want to throw off some big damage in attacks.
Yeah, and seeing the first Terrestrialization of the set coming from Jdawg's side, the Kyurem going from that Ice Dragon typing to the Poison typing to take resisted damage from the Fairy moves that will be coming from Flutter Mane. I think that's very important for Kyurem to have the longevity. Flutter Mane actually protects here, which is interesting.
Oh wow.
It was being threatened by Azumarill from an Aqua Jet, for example, because Flutter Mane, while quite bulky, especially, is not very bulky defensively, so would take a lot of damage from those attacks.
Great.
Actually, the double into Flutter Mane.
Yeah. Oh, that Stomping Tantrum not being able to take it out. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I will say here now, Kyurem is threatened with neutral damage by a waterfall or a water move from Dondozo, so there is that. Granted, how much damage it will do, you never know.
Yeah, the Dondozo could hit it super effectively with Stomping Tantrum, or just hit it with its Stab Attack Wave Crash. We do see the Landorus Therian switching in, which would normally provide Intimidate to mitigate some of that defensive that attacking prowess, but the Dondozo here is actually oblivious and also has the Clear Amulet, so there is no way it is getting intimidated.
Exactly. Yeah, so Jdawg is choosing to go for that Flutter Mane, seeing that is the bigger threat here. Oh, and that Stomping Tantrum is doing quite a bit of damage. It's looking like another one will take out Kyurem.
Yeah, we do have here the Scarf, the Choice Scarf Landorus Therian. But I think since the Flutter Mane, I didn't get to see if it was a booster special attack or a booster speed Flutter Mane, and that would be very important in seeing here who actually is faster. We just protect from the Flutter Mane to avoid any damage.
Flutter Mane is not doing very much damage because it is protecting all these. Oh, yep, we do see a. So it is now locked into Stomping Tantrum.
That's true. The Freeze Strike coming out, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, this is a lot, but it does not take the KO.
Ooh, this is going to be big Wave Crash damage, and it kills.
Yeah, Wave Crash taking out Lando Teak here. And also taking recoil itself. Obviously, the Dondozo here will probably fall to any other moves, but the Flutter Mane has been a big target from Jdawg here, and he just has not been able to get that finish like he's wanted. However, the priority Aqua Jet here, I would think, would take out the Flutter Mane at this range.
Yeah, it's looking. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, and it can't protect because it protected last turn, so we may see either a switch in or probably a sack of it.
So he's actually switching up the Dondozo, doesn't want to take a super effective freeze dry. Instead, we see the Chi-Yu. But I believe if I saw his move selection correctly, Jdawg might have called this. Let's see.
Oh. Yeah,
it will be the Terra Fairy coming out of the Flutter Mane. I'm not sure if we're going to see it have an attack this turn, though.
Yeah, an Aqua Jet will end its career right here.
That is the Aqua Jet coming out, and it does get the KO on the Flutter Mane. So the Terra Fairy, it makes sense to expend it. I mean, it's the only Terra really you can use, assuming there's no Superior in the back. But and here, what attack did Kyurem go for? I believe it actually went for the Earth Power into the Chi-Yu, which was strong enough to finish off the Dondozo, but also caused the switch, almost taking out the Chi-Yu and importantly putting it in that Aqua Jet range.
Yeah, Aqua Jet and priority has been really good for Jdawg this game so far, being able to take out a lot of these big hitters with a slow mob.
Yeah, I think sometimes Jdawg's team can struggle with very fast attackers. He has a kind of middling speed stat across his team. But yeah, using this priority, especially this Azure, which has just done so much damage to both the Flutter Mane and the Chi-Yu, it's just a way to just completely circumvent the speed stat. And we will see a freeze dry coming out to finish off this dog.
Yeah, Dondozo never stood a chance against that freeze strike. Doing 75% with that Never Melt Ice. Those are some big hits right there.
And that is the first game. I guess the question is now, what changes can Praspian make to actually adapt to what Jdawg's strategy was here? I'm not sure.
Possibly a superior in the back. Those Aqua Jets were hitting, so maybe a resisted Mon may be good there. Granted, you are up against the Kiram, so you're going to be taking a lot of damage from that.
That's true. You do have the Dragon Pulse on the superior, and especially if you use that Terra Stellar option, that'll even boost the damage of that Dragon Pulse. I wonder how much damage that'll actually do to the Kiram. It could be a lot. Especially if it's after a Leaf Storm where you have a +2 boost, right?
Exactly. Yeah, this is just it's tough just because the two Mons that Praspian left behind are both weak to ice. So I think Praspian was pretty scared of that that Never Melt Ice Kiram, and so you may have to make some switches and may have to bring in some weak Mons to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just I think Praspian's whole team is designed around this Flutter main Chi-Yu combination is so fast and so especially strong, but when the Assault Vest Azumarill just shuts that down, right? It has the natural typing advantage versus the Chi-Yu, and it has the Assault Vest to take those special hits. And the Kiram just does so much damage, especially with the advantage of Chi-Yu on the field if that ever happens. So I'll be curious to see if Praspian can find a way to either completely just offensively push through Jdawg's team or somehow find some defensive options to deal with that Azumarill.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even see or think that Jdawg needs to change his lead up here, or even his 4. It seemed to kind of sweep nicely, and so yeah, it's gonna definitely have to be on Praspian to make the change and see how he adapts to this matchup.
I definitely agree. I like the Dondozo overall. I think it applies good pressure and things like the Landorus and the Magmortar. But it's just the problem is it really struggles to hit the Kiram and the Azumarill for a lot of damage. We do see the Staraptor and the Alolan Persian coming out, debuting for this set. The Intimidate will not matter here as these are two special attackers. And Kiram, of course, is pressuring lots of damage, especially into the Staraptor, but also
there is fake out on the field if Praspian were to want to kind of eliminate that Kiram for one turn and kind of stall him a little.
That's true. That's true.
Could come up, or a close combat.
Yeah, looking at the Persian, it didn't really have any great moves to hit either of these attackers super effectively. We do see the fake out, like you said, to try to mitigate some of that damage. And the Brave Bird coming out and doing a lot of damage.
I think Praspian was calling a Terra there.
That might be true. Yeah, he might just be going for the guaranteed damage that, whether he Terras or not, the Brave Bird will be consistent with stat damage. Yeah. But at the same time, it would have been nice to just have that close combat. Probably take it out, given how much damage that Brave Bird did.
Yes, I would believe so. I think that CC would probably have taken out that Kiram, which would have been really, really nice for Praspian. And possibly even a follow me, he was thinking from Jdawg. Yeah.
That's true. The one thing that Praspian really has to be careful of is the flame body ability from that Magmortar, right? If he targets a contact physical move into the Magmortar, it will do a lot of damage. I mean, there's a chance for a burn is what I'm trying to say. Dark Pulse coming out into the Kiram while it's protecting.
I believe.
What did the Magmortar go for here?
I believe, Magmortar targeted into the Staraptor here.
Yeah, Jdawg trying to avoid having to click follow me and just trying to protect his Kiram and maybe taking out this Staraptor, but Praspian not falling for that, so I will either have to switch out his Kiram or follow me to try to avoid the Kiram from taking damage here.
And it seems like Magmortar is kind of free to do that T-Bolt again and try to take out that Staraptor. Not a whole lot is threatening it. I mean, a CC is possibly may take it out, but then of course what you said, risking that burn damage or the getting burned.
Yeah, the flame body, and we do see a great switch in for the close combat. This time, Praspian did not want to go for the Brave Bird, and after the Intimidate and the resist attack, it doesn't do much. And the Thunderbolt coming out from Magmortar will take out the Staraptor. This is pretty big for Jdawg because that Staraptor was doing decent damage into the team. It seemed like so.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, that Staraptor was. I mean, Kyurem is now so low that I think it definitely is possible for other mons to kill it. But that Staraptor definitely was helping a lot in that Kyurem matchup.
That's true. Jdawg here having the option to resist the strongest attacks from Fluttermane with that Terra Fairy. Terra Fire, that is. And the Magmortar also, I would have to imagine this has significant special defense investment, given you are going up against a very specially heavy team. So Follow Me here is looking very nice. Obviously, Dazzling Gleam is a spread move. We do see the Alolan Persian switching out here in favor for a different attacker.
Like Dondozo, yeah.
Dondozo.
This will be interesting. We're seeing a terrestrialization here from, I believe, Jdawg. Yep, on that Lando to resist that potential D-Gleam or Moonblast that comes out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lando does not seeing Dondozo. It's readily. And the Fluttermane protecting all set. The Fluttermane has been protecting, trying to avoid that damage. We do see a Follow Me here. Interesting.
Does that Lando, and it does hit into the Fluttermane slot. This is
right.
You know that,
so now
Dondozo
has this. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Dondozo now does still have that super effective stab on that Landorus. So you know.
On both of them, right? The Magmortar or the Landorus, they're both gonna be with that Wave Crash.
Exactly.
Which is a strong attack. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and both of them can't really hit Dondozo. I mean, of course, I mean, now that he's choiced into Terra Blast, actually, you know, this is going to be.
Oh wow! And the Fluttermane just going for the Shadow Ball, the strongest attack possible into that Landorus. I would not imagine that critical hit mattered. I think Fluttermane is quite a special attacker.
We also are seeing that it is booster energy speed here, so it does outspeed the Choice Scarf Lando.
Right.
So yeah,
Jdawg has the option now to bring back in his Kyurem, which is at low HP, or bring in the Azumarill, which I do think the Azumarill looks quite good here, given the Dondozo can't hit it so hard, and the Azumarill will do big damage into this Fluttermane.
Exactly. I mean, an Aqua Jet won't have the ability to kill it quite yet. But you know, if two of them does seem to be able to take it out, and it can't really hit that Azumarill, so you know, it's
I wonder if you even have to go for the Aqua Jet, right? There's no immediate threat on this Azumarill. Like, I don't even think a double up from these two would take it out. So I think you would be able to go for Liquidation or whatever option you think is better. The Kyurem switching for the Magmortar, maybe a Wave Crash coming its way. Another Protect from the Fluttermane. Praspian playing super defensive with that Fluttermane.
That Fluttermane, I think, has attacked like 2 turns in the 2 games so far. Oh, this Wave Crash! Oh, not enough to take it out. But still a decent turn from Praspian here. You know, you do have that Dondozo at almost full HP. It's a very, very threatening mon, able to do a lot of damage. So.
Yeah, now Jdawg's in an awkward position where he cannot get rid of this Fluttermane before he's able to take out his Kyurem. And even if he takes out the Fluttermane turn, the question will be, does Dondozo have enough pieces? Sorry, does Jdawg have enough pieces to take out this Dondozo, right? And we still have the Persian in the back.
The Persian switching in, possibly picking an Aqua Jet or a Liquidation here. Yeah, let's see. A Liquidation.
It will be Liquidation, which does not take out the Persian, even that first go. Okay,
here.
We do see the order up attack go into the Kyurem.
Yeah, a Fake Out is still on the field. You could, you know, of course, Fake Out that Kyurem if you don't want to freeze try, or potentially, you know, don't want an Aqua Jet being put into that Persian. So this is definitely going to be interesting what Praspian chooses here to potentially Fake Out.
Yeah, the question is, you know, the Azumarill here is the biggest threat left, and I don't know who wins in the 1v1 versus the Dondozo and the Azumarill. Probably the Azumarill, given it has a very type attack. We do see the Fake Out go into the Kyurem. The Play Rough come out and miss.
And it misses. A double into the Kyurem will be enough to take it out.
Interesting. So now, all we have left is the Magmortar.
It's looking like Praspian is choosing to ignore that Azumarill with that Dondozo, you know? I mean, it can't really hit it, but also, you know, it's just kind of going for the partners. which is we'll see how it works out.
That's very interesting. I wonder. I mean, the Thunderbolt will still threaten big damage to the Dondozo, right? If we can sustain the Magmortar, this is very interesting because there's still Fluttermane in the back that's going to do big damage, right? So Jdawg's choosing to protect his Magmortar because he knows he's under big threat from that.
And this T-Bolt's coming out. doing a good amount of damage here.
That was a critical hit. Player coming out, doing a little less than half. And the Stomping Type with Azumarill. Praspian called the Azumarill. He did completely ignore the Magmortar that turn.
That was a great play by Praspian there. Jdawg's looking in a much worse situation. But I think it's, I mean, of course, that Aqua Jet is always possible into that Persian.
Big question here would be, is the Thunderbolt strong enough to take out the Dondozo from this range? Dondozo doesn't have the greatest special defense, right? But also, it's just a Thunderbolt from a Magmortar. It's not a stab attack or anything. So, if the Magmortar goes down this turn, it gets thick here very, very quickly.
So it does choose to Aqua Jet. The thing is, does this Thunderbolt from Magmortar do a considerable? Does it take it out? Let's see here. It does not.
Wow.
Dondozo is able to do a move. Does this wave crash?
However, the wave crash, but yes, but wave crash recoil. But the recoil, will it be enough to take out the Dondozo after the recoil?
Will probably take it out.
It does.
But it's looking. I do believe that this Fluttermane can take this this mon out.
Well, the question comes down to how much HP does the Fluttermane have left? Is it within the Aqua Jet range?
Yeah,
it is full.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking like, does a Moonblast take it out?
And not just a Moonblast, a Terra Fairy Moonblast.
This stuff, I would believe it does.
I think there's no doubt. If this may just be, can Aqua Jet get a critical hit? I think that might be the only way out here for Jdawg.
I mean, Praspian has had quite a few crits, and it does not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think even a critical hit would have done enough, it looks like, so... Wow. After a great reach from Praspian those last few turns, great reach from Praspian, and I think we'll be going to game 3.
Yeah, those were super great. I mean, I love that adjustment from that Staraptor with the instantly threatening of the close combat. Kyurem was not allowed to kind of get that start that it got game 1.
Yeah, Kyurem being such a big threat into like the Dondozo, for example, removing that early on, the Dondozo just gets to freely attack against the Magmortar and the Lando T, and at the end the Azumarill just wasn't, couldn't deal with the Fluttermane. Again, it all came down to, I think, Praspian got several of those turns right, especially that turn that he completely ignored the Magmortar, which was forced to protect.
Exactly.
However, we have to remember there was that play roughness that came from the Azumarill, which may have turned the tides of that game.
I think it did, and there were a couple crits from Praspian's side that also, got some big damage. I think there were 2 that game, so, you have to. I mean, it's going to be a big game 3 either way. So let's see if if Praspian can keep making those reads, or if Jdawg is going to adapt to the adaptability.
Yeah, I think Jdawg is open. I think it would be okay for him to not pivot his strategy too much, because I think the 4 mons he brought, as long as he positions them correctly, can do the job. We definitely saw that in game 1. It's just about making sure we don't lose those pieces too soon, right?
Exactly. I mean,
if we look at something,
would be a follow me from Magmortar would be great. In that lead, if he were to potentially close combat into that Magmortar and potentially get burned, but then also that Magmortar possibly living a CC, I don't know exactly, but then that Kyurem has that ability to still have that full HP and potentially take care of Dondozo at the end.
Yeah, the Chi didn't come that last game, right?
It did not. No.
So that, to me, feels like that could be an opening for potentially the Cobalion, which I think looks very strong in this team. I know there's the super effective close combat from the Staraptor, but, Cobalion has great defense, but it doesn't look like Jdawg opted to do that. I think he opted for the same 4 Pokemon he's been bringing.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think these are a wrong 4. I think these are essentially exactly what Jdawg needs. Oh, the Staraptor for the first time in all 3 games.
The Superior, right?
Or sorry, the Superior.
Yeah. Superior, yeah, very interesting to see. Very good that zoom roll, which was causing some threats. Superior does not love seeing these two, I will say. Magmortar and Kyurem, not really the targets you want for Leaf Storm, right?
Exactly. I mean, a Leaf Storm. Oh, and the double protect here is you know, to avoid the fake out.
Right. We do see the fake out coming out. Would have been into that Magmortar. The Superior can't really do much here. This has no options really for setup, unless it went for something like a side Leaf Storm for Contrary. Don't think that that would have been something interesting, but yeah, we will see no damage being done this turn.
Yeah, neither Mon can protect here, but I don't think they would want to. They see the super effective damage here, and yeah, they.
Right. The only thing we have to watch out for is the Dragon Pulse, right? The Dragon Pulse going to the Kyurem. I don't know how strong that would end up being.
I mean, Magmortar does have that follow me ability, or that ability to follow me, I should say.
Right.
So, but even a Leaf Storm into it would be very, very good damage.
That's true. I will say this is also the focus Sash Superior, so it would be able to take one hit no matter what. Instead, we get to actually see the Dondozo switching in, which would be great if the Magmortar went for a fire move. But I wonder if the Kyurem went for a freeze dry. But it's the Ice Beam instead. Interesting. I wonder if Jdawg might be forgetting for possibly that was the focus sash, because I'm trying to see why you would not just click freeze dry that turn, but I could be missing something.
More B or less BP or more?
Yeah, so freeze dry is only 70 base power, where the ice beam is 90, but I'm just thinking because of the focus sash, doesn't matter too much. Yeah, seeing speed control here from the version.
This is going to be interesting for... Oh, and that freeze strike coming in, being able to protect against that.
Yeah.
Oh, the double it.
The double it on Dozo. I think that's pretty fair from Jdawg here. He can kind of ignore this version, right? Because it's not really going to provide that much damage. Also, you would need several Icy Wings to get this Dondozo faster than the Kyurem, for example, because Dondozo is just that slow, right?
Exactly. I mean, we did see, I believe it to be game one, that Dark Pulse was doing quite a bit to Kyurem, I believe.
Right.
I think it did like 40%, if I want to say, something similar to that.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right. Something like that.
So it is threatening some damage, I will say, which is
right.
You can ignore it, but at how much do you choose to ignore it?
Yeah, the Magmortar, who's scared of taking that wave crash, does come out here. See, I wonder. Yeah, 2 Icy Winds might have been enough for the Dondozo outspeed, but we'll not. Jdawg doesn't want to find out either, right? So
yeah.
Instead, he's gonna switch his Magmortar out. The freeze strike's going first.
Oh, living on a sliver.
The invisible focus sash.
The wave crash coming in.
Yeah, that was good damage to 0, but that's not the target press we wanted to see, right?
Not at all. Yeah, this is going to be. I mean, does he have a potential Staraptor in the back to take a CC or to dish out a CC? Oh
yeah, we see the Superior come back in instead. I do think the focus sash is good for taking one attack, but the problem is also you are going to be able to get Aqua Jet at that second turn if you're on the focus sash, right? So
exactly,
that's something you have to watch out for if you're Praspian.
This is... Oh, that ability to... doesn't want to take the Leaf Storm. Very, very fair.
That's very fair. Even with the Assault Vest, I'm sure that would do a lot of damage. Yeah. Instead, the resisted Magmortar gets to come in, right? Another protect.
Jdawg kind of, hitting a lot into these protects, but I mean, I don't think it's, that damaging to him. He's, still kind of up on Pokemon, up on health.
Yeah, I mean, Praspian gets a little bit of ground each time this happens, right? He's getting a little damage off of that version, but the question is, maybe across several turns it'll end up mattering. I think Jdawg just gets the double into the Superior again, right? I mean, we are going to see the Terra Stellar. Are we going to see a Dragon Pulse maybe coming out? Or a Terra Blast. A Terra Blast or a Dragon Pulse? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, a Dragon Pulse would definitely hurt into that Kyurem.
I think this will take out the Kyurem.
Follow me. Magmortar does not follow me. Does this do?
I thought that would do a little bit more, but... The Kyurem actually lives the pull. I'm sure Jdawg is very happy to see that.
Yes. That is going to be a dead Superior this time. And no Terra on Praspian's side anymore.
That's true. He will have that option for Terra Fairy on that Flutter Mane to get more damage. I think Jdawg, had every reason to just keep doubling the real threat slot, right? The Persian gets attacks off. Now it can get a Dark Pulse to finish off the Cure, for example, but it just won't be doing that much damage overall.
Exactly. And this Follow Me by this Magmortar, so it doesn't take a, Moonblast here as well.
Right. There's the Dazzling Gleam option, though, is the only issue, right?
That is true.
So, Jdawg might just choose here to sacrifice this Kyurem, saying, hey, it's done its job, taking out the Superior, doing a lot of damage to Dondozo. And,
or not. What,
Well, yeah,
Praspian doesn't receive a Dark Pulse here. Oh, it does, Dark Pulse.
It does. Yeah, Praspian trying to get the most damage possible, getting the Shadow Ball to the Magmortar, and then finishing off the Kyurem. I think that makes a lot of sense. Here we get to see the laners coming out.
I mean, we did see that this Flutter Mane outspeeds this Landorus, but I don't think that, of course it doesn't have the ability to just kill it in one shot.
Yeah, the Landorus, Terra Fire, obviously, it makes a lot of sense to avoid not super effective fairy move, but a very strong fairy move.
Yep.
Obviously, Praspian can go for the ghost move to cover that if he just wants, the guaranteed damage. I wonder how strong the Terra Blast Fire, I think, actually ends up being Landorus' strongest move here, because it's 80 base power move for stopping Tantrum actually on 75, right? So
yes, yeah. That is interesting to see. I mean, of course, neither are super effective on that Persian, but they're probably still going to do some big damage here.
Protect from the Flutter Mane. At this point, this is Praspian's signature move, right? Protecting that big forehead.
I would love to see how many turns this Flutter Mane protected throughout the whole set. It seems like it's half.
But Jdawg doesn't care this time. He says, I'm tired of you protecting.
Oh.
I'm going to attack the Fur Coat Alolan Persian instead, which does not take that much.
Well, I will say, it is avoiding that fairy move by Flutter, but also the 4 times weak Icy Wind.
That's true.
That terrifying.
That's very, very true. Yeah, the Icy Wind definitely would have done a lot more damage without that Terra. I think Jdawg is open to basically make it very similar where he just targets the Flutter Mane this time, right? There's not a huge threat. Maybe a double up? Well, see, the Follow Me protects him right from double up, so that doesn't even take out the Magmortar.
It's definitely with that. Oh,
but there's actually a Citrus Fairy. Huh.
It does have a minus to def, so it is potential. Oh, and
it's not enough. It's barely not enough. I wonder, is this enough to get the Flutter Mane? It is enough to get the Flutter Mane.
God, that does some damage.
The stab, 80 base power physical move is enough. I mean, Landorus Staring has a strong attack stat of, I believe, 140, and with that, I just don't think the Persian can do this, right?
Unless this Dark Pulse crits 4 times over.
We would need some flinches, some crits. We saw how little this did last time, though. Okay, Persian gets one more turn.
It seemed to do more this time for something. Maybe a higher roll.
It did seem to do more this time, but the Magmortar finishing the job, dealing with that Persian, and that is the set for Jdawg. That
is going to be Jdawg's win there. Jdawg is guaranteed in top cut now, correct?
That is true. I think that was very important for him. He without that would have to play a play-in game, but now he has this guaranteed spot after a season of ups and downs for him, to say the least.
Exactly.
We have both of our players here for a post-match interview.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello. What were Jdawg? Congrats on the win, of course. Those were some great games. Great game 3.
Good games for us, for sure.
For sure.
Very close.
I have a question. Oh yeah, go ahead, Praspian.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think you calced some of your spreads very well. There were some survivals that I was like, dang, I did not expect him to survive that at all. Like when you just ate that Terra Stellar Dragon Pulse, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, I was almost max special defense, honestly, on Kyurem. I was a little worried when it went off because I was like, I actually thought you were gonna call the Terra Poison. I was like, I'll be okay. This is a Terra Blast. And then when it said Dragon Pulse, I was like, I think I live this. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe.
Yeah. That's
Jenna, I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say that we in the commentator booth thought that was gonna do significantly more damage as well.
Yeah, I always hard to estimate those stellar boosted attacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question for you, Jdawg, that Dondozo seemed to really be kind of a big threat into the Mag Mortar doing super effective damage, into the Landorus inside and outside Terra. I guess what were your thoughts on what were the biggest threats on Praspian that you were most aware of trying to remove?
Man, that Dondozo became apparent, and I will say, Praspian, you did a great job of conditioning me, because it's like game 3, you first turn it was out, you protected. That was the only time I think you protected with it the whole set. And it was like, man, he recognized that I knew that thing was important. I was like, that stinks. I was like, I really needed a freeze dry there and a thunderbolt. And then you had the Icy Wind, which I knew my Curum would be faster, but then I was kind of like, man, my Mag Mortar's a little bit slow. I was like, if you do Icy Wind a second time, I don't know if it'll be faster. I was like, I don't know if I can mess with that or not. Like,
yeah, we weren't sure about that either. The -2, we weren't sure if that would be enough, and we didn't find out. I don't think, Joe, you wanted to find out either if the Mag Mortar was going to be slow or fast enough.
No, I did not want to. I felt like there was a good chance it wasn't, just because I didn't have like any speed investment. I mean, normally that's like 103 or something like that. So it's just like, technically that should be faster than 55, but I didn't know if you invested any speed in your Dozo or not, Praspian. So I was just like, I don't even want to take this
I don't
chance.
think I did. Hang on. I might. Oh no, I don't have it on my computer. But yeah, it was. I don't think it was very heavily speed invested. If so, it was like 40 or something. Like it wasn't much. I don't think I had any.
Sure.
I have a question here. So for game 2, Praspian, after you had lost that first game, you had switched to Star Raptor, and it seemed like it was a really good switch. You know, threatening that close combat into Kyurem, which seemed like such a threat game 1. But after you won game 2, you switched again from Star Raptor to Superior. So what made you do that second switch after a win?
So that was kind of like a gambit, kinda, because game 2, like I kind of recognized that like I definitely played well, and the Star Raptor was a big deal, but I also realized that like a couple of good Terras, or like playing with Landorus, could just shut it down. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of like, okay, if he's playing around that like maybe he doesn't start with Kyurem, something like that. My plan was I can go in with Fake Out and then Leaf Storm with Superior, because I have the Focus Sash and I know I can get 1 off at least. And then I can just Terra and get like 2 or 3 down with it. And then from there, it's just up to like Flutter Main to clean up. So it was kind of a gamble because I didn't know it was going to work for sure. But like, that was kind of like my thought process with it.
Fair.
I'll say once you brought that thing in, I was like, oh no, I cannot let this thing get a Leaf Storm. Because even at the board state, when I doubled into it, I was like, there's a really good chance he protects here, but I was like, I don't think I care. I was like, I know I'll take some chip damage from the Persian, but I was like, I just can't afford that thing to set up, because then it can just run away with the game, and I wouldn't be able to stop it.
Yeah, that's scary.
I think
those side attackers like the Persian, got a lot of mileage, because I think, Joe, you were forced to double into a lot of the big threats like the Superior, and Praspian just kept calling and protecting, and you have no choice but to target those threats, but the Persian just gets to throw off Dark Pulses and Icy Winds, and slowly chipping your team down.
Oh no, for sure. And it's definitely, there was a lot of situations like that where I just had to go for the protects. That I will say that is one reason why I felt pretty confident you were going to protect that last turn with Flutter, though. Because I was thinking to myself, okay, I was like, every other time you've been in a spot where like you've protected that guy, and I have protected. I was like, and I don't think it's the worst thing if I call this incorrectly, was my thought. So I was like, I'm just going to attack Terra Blast and the Persian, get some more damage on it, because I need to make sure I have an end game. I was like, ideally, I could have an end game with a Azumarill where I don't have to click Play Rough into it, but
yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of my thought process.
I would
there.
love to have seen the percentage of that Flutter Main protecting versus attacking, because it seemed like it was 50-50 about.
It was pretty close. I think my team is very funny and it's fun to play with, but there are some times where like, especially in draft against like good players who know how to calc the spreads, it just gets shut down, and so I had to like play around. Like every team I find usually has a weakness to like one of my Pokemon, and then Persian just is like good. So it's kind of like I have to play around like those two most of the match, and so like this week it was kind of Dondozo, and and Fluttermane. But I think you just like called me well, got some really good reads. You know, it was just like overall good play.
For sure. I think there was great play on your side too. I mean, it was really close. I mean,
Yeah.
Game 3 down to the wire, just a couple things, and I mean, I know you kind of ran out of swaps and went out with your team, but I feel like you built a pretty strong team overall, where it's just like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of threats, and if you don't respect them,
Yeah, I think like at first it seemed like it was kind of like, oh, I made some really bad swaps, but like in retrospect, I think the league's just gotten way better, and like it's just one of those things where like I did like mess up a little bit. I don't think I should have gotten rid of the sun, but at the same time, it's like if I play good, I know the team I have can win. So it's like,
yeah. Funnily enough, during the intro, I kind of mentioned that last season Praspian had beat Jdawg, and Joe had a Sun team, you know, with Wake and Ninetales and Jumpluff and all them. And then this season, Praspian drafted very, very similar team, and then, you know, of course, dropped it by week 3. But it was kind of funny that, you know, Joe had that same team last season, and Praspian had picked up very similar.
yeah, I think it's like even if I had that team, this week would have been rough because I think like Kyurem just like one shots Walking Wake with like Freeze Dry. And, like, that's a big game plan of Sun. It's like, and I think especially, one thing, like, I saw, and it didn't feel super threatening into my team, but the, what is it, Garafi, with, like, the Rain Dance, that would have messed it up for sure. So, I think, like, regardless of team, I definitely think it would have been, like, a close set anyway.
Oh, for sure. I think yeah, I actually thought you were going to bring Chiyu again, though. I didn't think you were going to give up on it, per se, but it makes sense, too. I mean, I always had that Aqua Jet pressure to clear it off. And...
I think the big... Like, I really wish I had Terra on it over Fluttermane. Because I think Fluttermane does a lot, but there's some weeks where having, like, a Terra Ghost on it, or, like, a defensive Terra, like Water, against the Aqua Jet, I think could have, like... made it much more usable, because then I could have like thrown like Sludge Bomb on it. Well, actually, I don't know if it gets Sludge Bomb, but like I could have like thrown a move that can hit on it, or like a Terra Blast for coverage some weeks. But I think like when I ran out of swaps for the Terra, it's kind of like hopefully the Fluttermane superior is enough. But I think she used strong some weeks for sure, but.
Yeah, I was a little afraid to give the final Gambit set, I will say. Because I thought about that kind of last minute, I was like, I don't know. I was like, it's a little risky to run that because I have so many, like, priority I could run, but...
Yeah.
It also scared me.
Yeah, I think Chiyu's scary, but one thing I was really playing around were the, like, Azumarill and Landorus. And, like, if Lando Terras, it's just kind of, like, over for Chiyu. He kind of just can't do anything. You still get the special defense drop, but like, or not this, the special defense drop for Fluttermane, but still.
For sure, yeah, and I definitely felt that in our match a little bit. I mean, you were positioning to always make sure you kind of slowly chipping away Azumarill, and I think you recognized that Azumarill was really good in your team, and that's why you kept protecting the other partners, and I don't know, I just feel like you played really well.
Yeah, thank you. You played well too.
Thank you.
I guess I was going to ask you, Jdawg, we saw, I believe, the same 4 Pokemon from you, all 3 battles. Did you ever consider switching to Cobalion or switching to Gafai, or were you always the 4?
I thought about Cobalion a little bit. The only thing that actually kind of pushed me away from that was the fact that it was Terra Fairy Moonblast. I didn't want to be in a situation where I was going to die. Because essentially, I could survive weak moves, but if at any point he decided to Terra Fairy Moonblast, which I know is committal, but at the same time, that I don't want a Pokemon that can die in one hit, could also die in one hit to, you know, Chiyu if it showed up. So my thought was kind of just, it's not going to quite do enough. I really wanted to bring it. I planned on bringing it originally, but it just couldn't make the cut due to that. Grafai I did heavily think about. I thought, like, wow, this could be really good. Game 3, get that rain up. But I just kind of felt that, the Chi-Yu may still not come. And so Poison Jab would be good, but he's still slower than a lot of your team. Is the truth. Your team is so fast, minus, like Dondozo. I was just like, there's not a lot of weeks where Grafia is the slow one, but I just had to leave it. So I was just like, no, these 4 are good. I just need to position myself correctly, and then I think I can be good. Was my thought process.
Yeah, I was kind of like hoping you'd bring Kabalion, because it's like all of a sudden, like if you replace one of those 4, it becomes so much easier for my team to do something.
Oh, for sure.
Especially since it doesn't. I don't think it has a Terra on it, right?
It does not. No, it's
not
a lot of Terra. Yeah,
I will. It would have been a lot stronger, or a lot weaker into my team, I think. But
I will let you know though, you kind of broke my brain at the beginning of game 2, and this is really silly. But obviously, I see Staraptor. I'm not paying attention to nicknames. But Staraptor's on the field. I'm messing around. I'm playing a little bit, and I'm like on the Switch screen. I remember I paused because I'm like, wait, Chi-Yu's on the field? And then I was like, oh no, the Staraptor's name is Chi-Yu. I'm like, ah, gosh. So like that did. I don't know if that was like the plan or not, but that did at least break my thoughts for a little bit, because I was like, wait. I was like, am I forgetting something? I was like, was there a Switch that I wasn't paying attention? Like, I didn't know what was going on. Then I realized that it was just nicknamed that. I was like, oh wow.
Technically, that's a DQ.
No.
The funny thing about that is, last night I had something come up, and so my team sheet was late, and so I was like trying really, really fast to come up with nicknames. I was blanking on Staraptor, and I'm like, I'm just naming it Chi-Yu. It's like it's good enough, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, and maybe it would have worked in some like far out like alternate universe, but. I mean, he has the little red streak in his like hair, so it's close enough.
The bird you.
Well, with that is the last stream match of the SBL regular season. After this, we're gonna be moving on to the postseason.
Yep.
We don't have a schedule for that yet. I'm sure we will get many great matches, hopefully streamed for that. And again, congratulations to you, Joe, again for the win and the qualifying for playoffs. And congratulations to you, Praspian, on a great set. And I think that's all we really got for this week.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Yeah, good games, Jdawg. Good luck with Top Cut. That should be fun.
Thank you. Good luck in the
looking
cup.
forward to seeing it play out. Yeah, I'm hoping to win the cup, but we'll see. Lots
You
of
got
good
it.
teams on there.
Let's see it.